Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, in a unsurprising move, Billy Joe Saunders has changed trainers once again. Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders has previously worked with the likes of Jimmy Tibbs, Ben Davison, and obviously Dominic Ingle. And this time, he is actually returning to the Tibbs. But this time he is being trained by Mark Tibbs, who is obviously the son of Jimmy Tibbs. And Mark Tibbs was actually Billy Joe's assistant trainer when Billy Joe trained with his father Jimmy. So what do we make of this news? Well, the first good thing, I guess, is the fact that there's going to be no sort of gelling in process between Mark Tibbs and Billy Joe Saunders. Both of these guys know each other extremely well. They've had numerous camps together, obviously Mark Tibbs being Billy Joe's former assistant trainer. So there's going to be no getting to know each other. These guys already know each other, so they can really hit the ground running straight away. In my opinion, that's a good thing. Obviously, when a fighter changes trainer, there usually is a period of getting to know each other, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, etc, etc. So the fact that they don't have to contend with that is a bonus in my opinion. And Mark Tibbs, in my opinion, hasn't really done all that much wrong as a trainer so far. Most notably, he worked with Dillian Whyte, and he did a really good job with Dillian Whyte. Basically, he took him from getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua to getting him as the number one ranked WBC heavyweight in the world and a genuine top 10 contender. Dillian Whyte certainly improved under Mark Tibbs. But apart from Dillian Whyte, Mark doesn't really have all that much experience as the head trainer with world-class fighters. So, listen, Mark is still kind of inexperienced at this level, but the guy has been living around boxing his whole life. Obviously, he was a fighter himself. His dad was an excellent trainer in his own right. So Mark Tibbs isn't exactly wet behind the ears. He's grown up with boxing, and he's got a wealth of knowledge, in my opinion. And I think he could be potentially a good fit for Billy Joe Saunders. Mark Tibbs strikes me as someone who doesn't really take a lot of shit. He expects you to train, do your hours, stay in shape. And let's be honest, Billy Joe Saunders needs people like that around him. Billy Joe is a bit of a free spirit, doesn't make the best decisions. He's been very lax in the past in regards to living the life outside the ring. He's really let himself down, to be honest. Maybe someone like Mark Tibbs could actually get the best out of him, to be honest. One can hope, because Billy Joe is a really good, talented fighter, but he's never really put it all together, as far as I'm concerned. I want to see him knuckle down, and I really want to see how good Billy Joe Saunders is. How old is Billy Joe now? 30 years old? Time is ticking. It's all well and good changing trainers, going to Mark Tibbs. I think Mark is a very good trainer, but at some point, the buck stops with you. Billy Joe needs to, make that decision internally to take this sport seriously. Until he does that, he could resurrect Angelo Dundee, and he's still not changing. So, listen, a change of trainer, cool. That happens. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for Billy Joe Saunders is a change of attitude. Both in regards to how he lives his life outside the ring, and let's be honest, also the ambition that he shows in the ring. I mean, this is a guy who has, whether it be avoided or basically messed up numerous fights. He didn't want to fight Golovkin at one point in time. He messed up the Andrade fight. Billy Joe has missed out on a lot of fights in the past, even the Canelo fight, arguably. So, listen, Billy Joe needs to take this seriously now. He is starting to run out of time. He's not a 25-year-old guy anymore. He's now 30, 31, whatever he is. So, hopefully Billy Joe can kind of change his mindset and really give this boxing game, proper attention and proper devotion, because Billy Joe is a good fighter, in my opinion. He's one of the most naturally talented fighters that we have in the UK, but in my opinion, for the most part, the guy's not applied himself. Even in some of his biggest fights, he's admitted that he's not applied himself. He trained for about 6 weeks for the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, and it really showed in the second half of that fight. If Billy Joe has any ambition in regards to becoming a unified champion and actually having a chance against the likes of Canelo, Golovkin, he can't be training for 6 weeks half-arsing it. You know, he needs to be 100% invested in boxing. And listen, they say a leopard doesn't change its spots. I really have my doubts on Billy Joe Saunders. I hope Mark Tibbs can actually flick a switch in Billy Joe and he finally takes it seriously. But I am very doubtful in regards to that, to be honest with you. You know, I'll give guys chances, sure, but I'm not going to keep on sitting here expecting somebody to change. And, Billy Joe hasn't done that. So ultimately, time will tell. Again, I have my doubts, but I really hope Billy Joe can actually knuckle down, get these big fights and apply himself, because he is a good fighter on his day. He's athletically gifted, he's got ability, and obviously he's got that Olympic pedigree as well. So Billy Joe does have a lot of attributes, he's got a lot of positives, but he needs to put it all together now before it's too late. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Do you think this is a good move for Billy Joe Saunders? Can Mark Tibbs finally flick that switch and get Billy Joe fully motivated and fully, invested in the sport of boxing? We shall see. I have my doubts. If anybody can do it, maybe it's Mark Tibbs. He kept Dillian Whyte on the straight and narrow for quite a while, and Dillian Whyte himself isn't exactly the easiest character to deal with. So, Mark does have experience with these sort of characters, so maybe that's going to stand him in good stead, training Billy Joe, but we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your boy Del Boy. Peace.